Hello, this is Seth Winning, and welcome to another AFI 100 Greatest American Film List Review. Today we're going to do Goodfellas. Goodfellas is number 94 on the 1998 list and 92 on the 2007 list. I'm doing a little series within the AFI 100 Greatest American Films list where I'm talking about crime and corruption. Started with Godfather 1, Godfather 2. We're talking about Goodfellas. We're going to talk about On the Waterfront, maybe Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, maybe Chinatown. Just to make it interesting, I'm not doing them all in order. I'm doing it categorically, maybe. We'll see what happens. But here we go with Goodfellas. The Godfather series introduced modern mafia crime family to the American viewing public. Basically modern. We're talking about 45 years ago. In 1990, Goodfellas came out, and it was an actual true crime story. It was based on a book by Henry Hill. Henry Hill was a wise guy. Wise guy is part of a crime family, but they're not part of the power structure. They're just the guys that do stuff, like maintenance people were very much better paid people. You know, if you want someone to knock over a truck or steal something or, intimidate people, you call a wise guy. Or a made guy would call a wise guy. Made guys are in the mafia, and they have their wise guy crew to do stuff for them. Henry Hill was part of the crew. This film was influential in all kinds of modern crime movies like Donnie Brasco, starring Al Pacino and Johnny Depp. On TV, The Sopranos, or whatever crime series is on TV. It basically probably came from Goodfellas. It showed the power structure of, the lower ranks who were not made. It showed what they do to violence, and it showed the pecking order, our structure pecking order. So it's really interesting that this is the first true crime stories, because people have been, film companies have been making mafia films since the beginning. They used to have the fictitious crime films, like a fictitious retelling of the Valentine's Day murders, Al Capone in Chicago. But they weren't really all the way truthful. It was just a jumping off point to tell a crime story, because no one who was there would talk about it, because if you talk, you die, basically. The Goodfellas was basically what the wise guys would call themselves. We're Goodfellas. I know, that guy's he's a good fella, we can work with him. That type of thing. And the difference between a made man and a good fella is because, basically you have to be 100% Italian. Because the crime families want to trace your lineage back to Italy. And it's really great if you come from Sicily, because that's the best. That's where mafia was created. And according to Godfather and everyone else. So Henry Hill, he's Italian, but it's through his mother's family, he's Sicilian, and that doesn't really help because his dad's Irish, and if you're Irish, you're out. you can work for us, and you can be like an errand boy. You can blow up a bunch of cars when you're 13 years old and take, some retribution against someone we don't like, but you'll never be made because you're not fully Italian. Henry Hill grew up and started working for the mob back in the 50s. He dropped out of school when he was about 13 and just worked his way up as far as he could go into being a wise guy. A little background. In New York, where Godfather and this one and On the Waterfront take place, there's only 5 crime families. I'm sure you've heard of this before. But if you haven't, those 5 crime families are Gambino, Bonanno, Colombo, Genovese, and Lucchese. The Lucchese family is where Henry Hill is operating out of, and his boss, the Godfather, is called Paul Cicero. Cicero is the name of a town in Italy, so he was named like Don Corleone. Well, this is a fictitious name, but so is Don Corleone, where he's Paulie from Cicero. And so it's about the downfall of the Lucchese family and 25 years from 70 to, 95. And Henry Hill was the one who, when they pulled the plug. So he did all these crimes. He would knock drugs over, he would do intimidation. If someone owed someone money, he'd be right there with his crew, we're gonna cut you if you don't, pay up. We're gonna feed you to the lions or the tigers if you don't give us your money. Really stuff that you probably heard in other movies, but real stuff. And he had been in prison once before, or twice before. He also ratted out his family in the end. I basically gotta tell you this because it's a true story, and that's when you rat out the mob, you're never gonna be safe. You may be in wet sec, which is witness security or witness protection, but they're always gonna wanna find you so they can just get a little revenge on you. He had to rat out everyone he ever knew, basically, because they were all connected to Lucchese. The thing about being a made guy is that you not only have these wise guys like Henry Hill, no one can mess with you, no one steals from you, no one, can kill you without an okay from the capos, the real high up people in the family, and they all have to discuss it. Being made is a big thing, but still, you might be made and the feds will get you anyway, so it's not a guarantee. And the feds would love to get a big made guy in jail, like Al Capone. But Henry Hill, he participated in what is called the Lufthansa heist. It was up until 1990s, it was the largest theft of money in American history. In 1978, like May 10th, 1978, Henry Hill was in a crew that robbed Lufthansa at JFK of about almost $6 million. It was like $5.875 million. And part of that was jewelry, about like $800,000, almost $900,000. But the rest was just in cash. And it was partly an inside job because they had to get, the people who were guarding basically where the money was stashed, they told someone who told Henry Hill, and that's how he got started. And this was in 78, so $6 million in 78 would be a lot of money. It would probably be around 60 million or more, 80 million, I don't know, but in 1990 it was about 21. When you steal that much money, state police, local police, feds are all gonna come after you, and the pressure will be high. So during that time, they were just killing off conspirators, people who helped them, because they can't help anyone of these people talk. Otherwise, the gig will be up. And for the most part, it was presented in true form as it was happening. They're open editing for movie continuity. They always change stuff in the movies. But it was pretty good, not too graphic. It was graphic, but it wasn't horror movie graphic. Apparently, the money was never recovered. They kind of got away with it, even though eventually the family was pretty much taken down or had their wings clipped. And what clipped the wings was drugs. And in the film, the publicist wrote in like drugs. And drugs are lucrative, but he was afraid of the war on drugs. Like, he didn't want any FBI, any federal task force coming down on his family because of drugs, because the money is extremely good, but so is the risk. So he told Henry Hill, I don't want you were on drugs in prison, and it was okay then because you had to get by, but don't continue with drug activity now that you're out. That was then, this is now. And Henry Hill, he said yes to him, but it went out the end because he was addicted, and drugs were just really, really lucrative. And as he was taking drugs in and cutting it and shipping out, cutting it to make a larger profit, he was doing more drugs and more drugs. And when you feed the addiction, you generally lose everything, lose like your time. You just become just really wired, and you end up not being able to do your job. In this case, be a smart criminal, and you make mistakes, and that's what gets you. And I would say that this has a strong anti-drug. They don't hit the over the head with it, but if you see how he's acting, how he's looking, drugs, you don't mess with drugs, because as I learned in one of my health classes in college, once you take a drug, the drug takes you, and the drug really takes you. Actually, it was explained with alcohol. You take a drink, the drink takes a drink of you, and then the drink takes you. So it's the same thing. I think it's a good message. Doesn't hit you over the head, but don't do drugs. But if you're looking for it, it's there. If you like videos like this, please like and subscribe, and have a good day.